Imagine being dropped like trash on the sidewalk of a Los Angeles hospital. No name, no ID, no explanation. Just a body, dumped and abandoned by masked men who vanish into the night. Hours later, across town, another young woman is discarded the same way. This time, barely alive. Doctors scramble. Police sort baffled, and the city whispers, was this just another party gone wrong? Or the work of a predator who had been hunting for years in Hollywood's shadows?
Late on a cold November night in Los Angeles, a dark sedan with no license plates rolls quietly through the city streets. The car pulls up outside a hospital. Two masked men step out. They don't speak. They don't hesitate. From the back seat, they drag a woman's limp body and leave her on the sidewalk like discarded trash. Without a word, they get back into the car and speed off. Nurses rush outside. They try to revive her, but it's too late. She's already gone.
Just hours later, at another hospital across the city, the same car pulls up again. This time, another woman is pulled from the vehicle, but she is still breathing, barely. The men don't leave names, don't answer questions, don't wait for help. They vanish into the night, their identities hidden behind masks and shadows. For doctors, it's a medical emergency. For police, it's something much darker.
At first glance, the story looks familiar. A tragic overdose after a night of partying. Los Angeles has seen it before. But something feels wrong. There's too much calculation, too much effort to erase evidence. The women weren't abandoned in the street or found at the party. They were delivered, dumped. And whoever did this wanted them gone without being identified. When toxicology results return, the drugs in their systems read like a chemical nightmare. Cocaine, ketamine, MDMA, GHB. Not a single one consistent with casual use. These weren't accidents. These were deliberate acts. And soon, investigators put a name to the shadows. David Pearce. If this story chills you already, make sure you subscribe to Dark Lore with Shadows, because the deeper we dig, the darker it gets.
Hilda Marcela Cabrales was different, but equally extraordinary. She was 26, an architect from Mexico who had come to L.A. not to chase fame, but to chase opportunity. She was ambitious, intelligent, and disciplined. Her talent was matched only by her warmth, a kindness that drew people in. Together, Christy and Marcela were a powerful duo. Both beautiful, both talented, both chasing their own dreams in the city of angels. Neither of them could have imagined that their paths would cross with a predator hiding in plain sight.
On the night of November 13th, 2021, the two women attended a warehouse party. It was supposed to be just another night out, another chance to dance and enjoy life in Los Angeles. Video from the event shows them smiling, laughing, radiant. They texted each other as the night wound down. Christy messaged Marcela, "Let's go." Marcela replied, "I'm calling an Uber." The ride showed up. The driver waited. But Christy and Marcela never got in. That small decision, one made in seconds, sealed their fate.
Back at home, Christy's husband Jan awoke to unanswered messages. Her phone's location showed her somewhere unfamiliar. His worry quickly spiraled into fear. He reached out to friends. He called her phone over and over. Nothing.
Hours later, when police knocked on his door, his life shattered. Christy was gone. Marcela was clinging to life.
For a short while, there was hope. Marcela was placed on life support. Her family flew from Mexico to be by her side. But doctors quickly realized the truth. The lack of oxygen had caused irreversible brain damage. Machines were the only thing keeping her alive. On her 27th birthday, surrounded by her grieving parents, they made the devastating choice to remove her from life support. In the span of 24 hours, 2 vibrant young women with bright futures were stolen. If their story already feels unbearable, share this video so Christy and Marcela's names never fade. This is dark lore with shadows, and silence is where predators thrive.
The question was, by who? The answer pointed to David Pearce. To the outside world, Pearce presented himself as a Hollywood producer, a man with influence and connections in LA's entertainment scene. But behind that facade was a very different story. For over a decade, women had accused him of sexual assault. Allegations described being drugged, waking up disoriented, assaulted while unconscious. Again and again, he escaped accountability. Pearce wasn't alone that night. Alongside him were 2 other men, Michael Ansbach and Brant Osborne. Surveillance footage confirmed the women had entered Pearce's apartments. What happened inside remains a nightmare of speculation. But one fact is certain. Christy and Marcela never left alive. When the women began overdosing, Pearce and his friends didn't call for help. Instead, they stripped the license plates off a car, loaded the bodies, and drove across Los Angeles. Christy was dumped lifeless at one hospital. Marcela was left to die at another.
When the coroner's report came back, it was damning. The drugs in their systems weren't taken voluntarily. The mix was too dangerous, too unnatural. This wasn't partying gone wrong. This was predation. Police arrested all 3 men. Pearce was charged with manslaughter, and the case should have been straightforward. But what followed was years of legal maneuvering, delays, and games. Pearce fired his lawyers repeatedly, filed motions claiming incompetence, and dragged the process through endless hearings. Meanwhile, more and more women came forward. Over 7 separate allegations surfaced, each one echoing the same horrific pattern: being drugged, assaulted, and silenced. Stories like this are why dark lore with shadows exists, because too often justice is delayed and victims are forgotten. Not here.
The pattern was undeniable, yet the justice system moved painfully slow. Christy's husband, Jan, and Marcela's grieving family sat through hearing after hearing, watching as the man who destroyed their lives manipulated the very system designed to punish him. How did he get away with it for so long? The truth is as disturbing as it is simple. David Pearce wasn't invisible. He was protected. In Los Angeles, wealth and image can shield monsters. Party culture normalized excess. Women's voices were ignored. Pearce thrived in that silence. People looked away until it was too late. And David Pearce is not alone. Hollywood has long harbored men like him, predators who use charm, money, and influence to hunt in plain sight. Christy and Marcela weren't reckless. They weren't naive. They were strong, intelligent, and cautious. Their mistake wasn't going to a party. Their mistake was crossing paths with a predator.
Today, Christy and Marcela's names live on because their families refuse to let the world forget. Their friends continue to share their stories. and every person who speaks their names shines a light into the darkness that men like David Pearce depend on. Because monsters thrive in silence, and the only way to stop them is to keep speaking, keep fighting, and keep remembering. Christy Giles and Hilda Marcela Cabrales were more than victims. They were dreamers, builders, fighters. Their lives mattered, and their story is a warning to every city, every industry, every culture that allows predators to hide in plain sight. If you believe their story deserves to be heard, hit like, share, and subscribe to Dark Lore with Shadows, because the deeper we go, the darker it gets.